They know who you're emailing, what you say in the emails as well. So,
right, you're freaking me out. Wow. What I want to understand, and I think a lot of people get confused by, I mean, what is Google? It's just become this monster, right? It's huge. So
it's become everything, right? It covers so many different things.
Right.
And so as a company, what they really want is information, right? Information gives them power to figure things out, right? You know, you can argue it gives them a lot of power to help people, to give them what they need to solve their problems, right? But ultimately many would argue it's a data collection company, okay?
Okay.
And so from like a business perspective, for any business that wants to kind of use Google, right, that comes back to how they can connect with people in terms of like advertising, right? So someone wants something, they can put your product or service in front of the right people, okay?
Right.
And so when you bring it back to kind of the core thing that Google started with is a search engine, right? Because that's where they started, and everything has kind of been an extension of that. And the search engine gives massive information because it's everything that you search for, right? Every kind of little thought that you have, right? It goes into Google.
Yeah, I mean, because people, sorry, I'm just going to say it, like, people are probably thinking this, the fact that you say something to your friends, and this has come up a lot recently, over the last few years especially, it's become almost a running joke, right? You say something, bang, ad pops up. It's just unbelievable. But
exactly.
But what people don't, I think, understand is how does that happen, and how do they even do that, right?
So, you know, there's the conspiracy theory that they're spying on your conversations, right?
Yeah.
I've got no idea if
Better
that's
turn
true.
my phone off.
Right. And so that could be happening. They could be picking up like conversations, and then they're kind of figuring out what you want, or they just know you so well, right? And they know from all of their algorithms, like what you've been searching for, what you've been doing, that you're probably going to be interested in this thing next, right? And so if you imagine you have data across like millions, right? Effectively even like billions of people, then you might spot some patterns, right? So very, very simply, right? If someone's, you know, they figure out someone is pregnant, right? Because they're doing searches related to that, then they're going to know that there's a timeline of other things which they might be interested in as the baby grows up.
So what you're saying is actually not that they target you there and then based on what you're talking about, but actually they're predicting your behavior in the future. That's crazy.
That's one way that they can do that, right?
Okay.
And it's one thing that they want to do, because like what's, you know, as a company, right? What's one thing that they really, really want to do? What's their kind of core goal? They say, you know, like collect users' information or make information more accessible, right? That's kind of like the tagline. I haven't got that quite right, but that's the rough tagline they have.
Right.
They say, well, what as a company are they really trying to achieve for people, especially when it comes to the search engine?
Yeah.
And so first answer might be, well, they want to make lots of money, and they're doing very well, right? Hugely successful. But what is it that they're doing for people? What are they trying to achieve?
Well, I mean, the first thing that they want to do and nail quickly is a solution to a problem, right?
Yeah.
Like if you have a problem, you go on Google, and any website that comes up at the top, right? We call them the rankings, whatever. But any website that comes up should fix that problem immediately. So when you go on the website, this is my understanding anyway. I mean, again, I'm not as technical as you and don't have anywhere near as much experience. But from what I've seen and what I've done in my time is, okay, the website that actually goes, bam, here's your problem, here's your solution. Almost, you don't even have to scroll.
Yeah, and sometimes you don't even need to go to the website because the answer is right there.
Wow, interesting.
You know, like so you see the snippets. It's like you ask a question like, what's the time in New York? You don't need to go to a website. Google tells you straight away. You can press a button on your phone. You can ask it a question, and Google will answer you back, right?
Absolutely. But then I'm talking about how to monetize that. So obviously, if there's products, services, businesses that can help you with a problem, right? And you exchange money for that, right? I mean, buying something to fix it, then it becomes even deeper. I mean,
so they have their advertising platform. So if they have all the people using the platform, right, because it solves people's problems, it answers their questions, right, then obviously advertisers can fit in there in some way, right, which is exactly what happens, right? So essentially they're selling the views, they're selling the access to the audience, and they can do it extremely targeted because they know so much about you. And so what they really want to do is they want to be the answer to all of your problems, all of your questions, right? Anything that you want to know, they give you the answer, but it goes beyond that because they want to give you the answer to the question before you even know what the question is, right? Before you've even had the thought. So when you sometimes see an ad and you're like, that interests you, you didn't even know that you wanted that sometimes, right? That's what they're trying to do, to be able to present you with something that you want or a query before you might even realize it. Obviously, they want to answer the questions when you have them, but if they can even be a step ahead of you, it's going to help them to essentially enhance your life in a bigger way. Because if you think of a friend that always knows your needs and desires and like, hey, like I knew you needed this, that's great. And so Google kind of wants to be that friend that knows everything about you.
Okay, so quick question for you. I know it's going a little deeper, but I can't help but ask it. So, you talked about the pregnancy thing.
Right.
That just got me thinking, right there and then is, let's say woman's pregnant and about 6 months down the line, they start dropping ads for certain things. Are you talking that level? And also...
Yeah, they could effectively do that, right?
But then obviously it's reinforced by what she's searching for at the time.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Wow, okay.
Yeah, so it's making these predictions, and how can they do that? Well, I mean, it's on a surface level, it's like, well, if you're searching for newborn baby clothes, you know, like potentially she's pregnant, a baby's coming, or it's someone buying it for a friend. But Google will be able to figure out from other searches and what they're doing that, okay, this person is doing searches that a pregnant woman would do. Right. So it knows this, but the searches, right, is just one part of it. Okay. So, I mean, it would be quite freaky if you had a friend that knew your search history and everything that you search for. They'd know a little bit too much about you, right?
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah.
But, Google knows that. But they don't just know what you've been searching for, right? Because if you've got an Android phone, which is about 80% of the phone market, they know where you've been because they track you. You can go into Google Maps, right? And you can see everywhere you've been. But
iPhone do that too. I mean, you say
iPhone do that as well, right? But
I remember there's a lot of people were freaking out. I mean, I have an iPhone, and I remember it just got out. I don't know if do you remember this when people started realizing, hold on, it was all over social media. You can go into this section of your phone, and then it's like, I mean, holy shit, like it's got your whereabouts literally to the place, to the building for the last 2-3 weeks.
Yeah,
that's like a map. It's like hold on.
And so Google has the same sort of data on most people.
So if you bring that together, it's just...
So now imagine your good friend that's looking out for you, that they want to help you and kind of give you what you need before you know, and they know all of your search history, right? And they know everywhere you've been. It's a little bit freaky, right?
Yeah.
But they also know everyone you've been calling, right? Because the Android phone is tracking your calls, right? So Google can effectively know who you've called and what businesses you've called. Okay, so they've got that data point.
So then this friend, let's say they're a manipulative friend or someone who wants to sort of profit from you in some way, they could present certain things to you in your life, day to day, at exactly the right moment, because they know what you're doing, what you're searching for, what your deepest desires are. I mean, that's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's that worry, right? That like they know too much and they have that ability to maybe manipulate you too much.
Right.
It's kind of like, I don't know if you've seen the Futurama episode where they have dreams and there's advertisements inserted in the dreams. It's almost like this is the direction we're heading. Right. But the point is, for Google as a company, the more data points that they have, the more that they know about you. So, they know what brands you're interested in, right? They know where you've been, they know who you've been talking to, right?
Right.
And so, email. Most of us use Gmail. They know who you're emailing, what you say in the emails as well. So,
you're freaking me out. Wow.
Jay's like, I really shouldn't have sent that email.
I'm just thinking I need to destroy my iPhone and just go off the grid for a while. Hey, thanks for watching. And to learn more about AmpiFire, check out the links below, subscribe for more videos, and of course don't forget to hit the notification bell. See you on the inside.